Governor Kemp, what should we do tonight? Do we need to know anything about going out or playing it safe? What can we do to help the state of Georgia stay safe?
Well, I think the biggest thing I've been telling our citizens is just to obviously abide by the law and the regulations of the local community. Some communities have set curfews in Georgia, very few of them. Most people have been abiding by that, and things have gone very well. Just be on the lookout for those that may be disruptive and try to report that to local authorities or state authorities. Things have really calmed down today since over the weekend, where we had a very strong show of force to keep people safe, to help people be able to let their voice be heard and protest and demand justice, which we certainly support, but also to go after the instigators that have a different agenda, quite honestly, Brad. And that's what we need state resources, local resources, and our citizens to be aware of. Unfortunately, we're having to deal with two different situations in regards to these events.
Have you adjusted the number of troops that you're going to deploy or your message to local law enforcement? Has that changed after what you observed over the weekend?
Well, we've certainly been continuing to evaluate the situation as it unfolds. You know, I really ramped things up Friday evening, ramped it up some more Saturday and Sunday to deploy the resources we needed with really a quite volatile situation that was going on around the rest of the country. We did not want to see that in the great state of Georgia. Thankfully, we have a very experienced team. I was embedded with them all weekend in the State Operations Center for very long hours to early in the morning, late at night. And it was amazing, the team and response and how we communicated with the locals, and it was all coordinated through the State Operations Center over at GEMA. So, you know, we still have that up and running. We have all of those resources available. I don't know that we'll need as many of them this week as we monitor the more local protests that we see coming up today around the state, like, you know, places like Columbus and other places that are, you know, smaller cities than certainly Atlanta. But we stand ready. We can ramp up at a moment's notice. We have people stationed all over, and we're prepared to support the local communities and the local law enforcement agencies to keep our citizens and the citizens' property safe.
Governor, my last question, and it may be impossible to answer, but do you have any idea when these protests might die down, when they might stop, and when we might get back to some sort of whatever normal was when we were just dealing with the coronavirus?
Well, I don't know that I can answer that question. I certainly appreciate and support the right of people to protest peacefully as long as they would like. I think it's very interesting when you look at the state of Georgia. We've been dealing with peaceful protests in Brunswick, Georgia on the Ahmaud Arbery case, have been supporting that with not only Sheriff Neil Jump, the Glenn County Sheriff, but also with Captain King from the Georgia State Patrol that's been working with the organizers to have those peaceful protests. There's been, I don't even know how many they've had down there, but we've had no issues with them because it's local people voicing their concern for that situation, and we support that, just like we supported what happened with the peaceful organizers and protesters in Atlanta and Augusta and Savannah and other places around the state. What we're not going to put up with, though, is these disruptors and people that are out for destruction. They're out to harm our local police officers and our state police officers. We even had fire departments getting attacked trying to respond to a fire in downtown Atlanta. I mean, that is sickening. We're not going to put up with that, and I can assure you that the Georgia State Patrol, the National Guard, and the other state resources we have working with the locals will make sure that that's the case here in our state.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, thank you so much for your time on this Monday, and thank you for your leadership. We really appreciate it very much.
Have a great evening. Thank you.